Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window and kind of a dreary day all day today as we kick off our work week. Lots of clouds out there. Look at this beautiful dramatic shot from our Kashmir Sky-Fi Tower camera looking at portions of the Cascades and some of those low-hanging clouds. We did see that throughout the afternoon. Also some scattered shower activity around north central Washington, and that will pretty much be our scenario as we make our way through tonight into our overnight hours and maybe even a little bit on Tuesday with just a little bit of valley rain and some light snow showers in the higher elevations of the Cascades. That'll be our situation too in the morning tomorrow, and then some clearing skies and a little bit of shower activity overnight on Wednesday as well. And then some cooler northerly air moves in for Thursday and right through the weekend, but don't let it worry you too much. Not a big cool down. Temperatures will fall back to normal with just a few scattered showers by the end of the weekend. And we'll have much more weather for you coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A rollover accident Saturday injured 5 people from Spokane as they were headed east on Highway 174 near Smith Lake Road. The Leavenworth man who drew a gun on a FedEx driver in September was sentenced to 45 days in jail plus a year's probation. And the man who fired gunshots at the CEO of Gebbers Farms 3 years ago is headed to prison. But first, we begin tonight. A Wenatchee resident allegedly stalked and attacked another man with a baseball bat because he was jealous over his relationship with a woman. Jess Jerome Cunning, who's 35 years old, was jailed with the assault late Friday. Cunning allegedly met the victim at a tavern earlier that night, followed him to the woman's home in the 500 block of Sunset Avenue, and slashed the tires of his car. When the woman left the residence later that night, police say Cunning chased him, struck him with a bat, and tried to stab him. He then fled the scene and was arrested at his home. The victim suffered a head injury and multiple cuts and bruises. Cunning faces possible charges including first-degree assault. A rollover accident Saturday injured 5 people from Spokane as they were headed east on Highway 174 near Smith Lake Road. State Patrol Trooper said driver Jared Pillow was distracted and rolled the family's Ford Thunderbird off the right-hand side of the roadway. 2 adults and 3 teenagers were treated at Cooley Medical Center. The motorist will be cited for negligent driving. Well, the Leavenworth man who drew a gun on a FedEx driver in September was sentenced to 45 days in jail plus a year's probation. James Partridge pleaded guilty to a count of third-degree assault and was sentenced as a first-time offender. The case began back on September 23rd when Partridge brandished his gun at a FedEx driver, saying he thought the driver had threatened him. Partridge, who's 36 years old, must also surrender his concealed pistol license and complete an anger management program. Well, the man who fired gunshots at the CEO of Gebbers Farms 3 years ago is headed to prison. Mark Reynolds North, now 49, opened fire on Cass Gebbers with a handgun from his moving vehicle outside Brewster in September of 2016. The bullet shattered the windshield of Gebbers' truck, but did not strike him. An Okanagan County jury in August found Worth guilty of attempted murder, and on Friday, Judge Henry Rawson sentenced him to 25 years in prison. Worth is a former Pateros real estate broker who's been held in jail since the attack. He allegedly stalked and harassed a female relative of Cass Gebbers 2 years prior to that shooting. Gebbers Farms is one of the largest orcharding and cattle operations in the United States. Well, coming up next, an East Wenatchee man had to be tased early Sunday morning after brandishing a sword following a high-speed chase. The city of George still doesn't know who its mayor will be in 2020. And the body of a missing Colville pilot was found Saturday in Sullivan Lake in Pend Oreille County. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, I'm Ricardo, and this is Amanda, and we are from Impact Auto Sales,
where you can expect a hassle-free car buying experience. With our wide selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, let one of our friendly sales staff help you find the vehicle that fits your lifestyle. We have financing available for all credit types and great low rates for first-time buyers. Call us today at 888-8000 or stop by 3522 State Highway 97A in Wenatchee. Impact Auto Sales, where we strive to make an impact on your life and not your wallet.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway, or visit chartercollege.edu.
Welcome back. In another news, a driver with a number of bladed implements defied police efforts to remove him from his car for more than an hour early Sunday. 35-year-old Brian S. Hamilton of East Wenatchee faces possible charges of assault, violating a non-contact order, and driving on a suspended license. He allegedly gunned his car toward a responding Douglas County Sheriff's deputy who was on foot on 24th Street Northeast, then parked and refused to exit the car for about 90 minutes. Deputies said Hamilton slung a sword over his shoulder at one point, but later agreed to put the sword down and stepped out of the car. Police said they used a taser when Hamilton refused to be handcuffed and began struggling with those officers. Well, the city of George still doesn't know who its mayor will be in 2020. Incumbent Mayor Jareen Nelson is tied 28-28 with Don Ensel. Interestingly, there was one write-in for mayor in Grant County. Grant County has an estimated 20 votes left to count, but that's for the entire county, and it's uncertain if any of those votes are in George. Nelson was first elected back in 2015. November 6th Election Day results showed Ensel leading her by one vote, 22-21, but subsequent counts tied things up. State law says if the race remains tied after the final count or recount, the winner will be decided by a coin flip. Well, the body of a missing Colville pilot was found Saturday in Sullivan Lake in Pend Oreille County. 67-year-old Terry Coleman had been missing since Monday when he flew out of the Colville airport for what was supposed to be a one-hour flight before returning to Colville. A massive 6-day search for Coleman ended Saturday when his body was found by a resident in Sullivan Lake. The Cessna 182 Skyline he was flying is believed to be submerged in that body of water. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Mary Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Some jobs are a calling. They take passion and a devotion to the community. They're here for your kids, guiding the next generation of leaders. At Giesa Credit Union, we help you support local teachers. Every purchase you make with a Giesa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select teacher organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Giesa Teachers Affinity debit card.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, we bring you the college commitment announcement of the incredible student athlete from Kashmir, Haley Van Lith.
Flanked by her dad, Corey, and mom, Jessica, Haley nervously began her announcement.
Hi, guys. As you know, today is the day that I decided to commit, and to announce my commitment to you all, I wrote a letter to my Papa Van Lith. Dear Papa, it's crazy for me to think it's been almost 4 years. I think it's funny how we say that you never got to see me play a high school basketball game, but I know you've been sitting front row in every one of them. Every time I see an empty folding chair in the corner of a gym, I remember the nights you would watch my dad train me at 10 o'clock in a random elementary gym, and I know that God set that chair up for me to know that you are still with me. Sometimes when I'm really struggling with something, I will reread the letter that you wrote me when I was 13 years old. Those words always seem to find a way to put me at ease. Another thing you taught me, Papa, was to always show appreciation to those who love you. So here's mine. Thank you, Aaron. I know I complain about all the crazy stuff you make me do, but the truth is there's no one I'd rather run until I throw up with. You are a part of my family and play a huge role in my success. Blessed is an understatement. Thank you to my entire family. Thank you for always being the best support group. You guys are my rocks. You guys have always shown me an unconditional love, and I know you guys will always be there for me. Y'all are the definition of ride or die. Thank you to my brother, my mom, and my dad. I know I say that I am so excited for college and going away, but we all know that I'll FaceTime you guys every spare moment I have. My 3 best friends. You guys know me better than anyone else. I am where I am today because you guys have all inspired me in different ways to chase these crazy dreams I have in my head. And lastly, thank you, God. Papa, I think you always knew that out of the hardest time in my life would grow the best thing that has ever happened to me, and that is my relationship with God. If I couldn't see God in my life before, I definitely did in the U19 gold medal game. The Australian player magically threw an elbow to start our sudden comeback. That is nothing but the work of God. I have always needed God to help guide me through this crazy life, and I needed him more than ever for this decision. With that being said, after lots of praying and talking with my family and friends, I have made my decision. I know you and God are smiling down on me because you have always liked the color red better anyways. I'm committing to the University of Louisville.
We'll hear more about why Louisville coming up in sports.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to those details, this was our situation today. Lots of clouds out there. In fact, a lot of our PTZ cameras, we couldn't see anything because of all those low-hanging clouds. Definitely saw them around the Wenatchee Valley as well, with some shower activity all over North Central Washington. That will continue as we make our way through the evening and into our overnight hours. Temperature-wise, really not bad, about where we should be for this time of year. 42 is now our normal high. We were up to 45 unofficially today. We did start off on the mild side with those clouds overnight. 38 our overnight low. 31 is our normal overnight low for this time of year. 60 our record high set back in 2003, and it was a cold one back on this date in 1985. 4 degrees were our record low. 6.42 still holding steady with our moisture since January 1st. Sunrise this morning 7:10, and the sun set this afternoon for us at 4:22. Let's take a look at how our Tuesday afternoon smooth weather shapes up. And guess what? It's going to be a lot like our Monday weather. Maybe a tad bit warmer. In fact, 52 for Moses Lake, 51 in Ephrata and Quincy. We should get up to about 50 tomorrow in the Wenatchee area. So all of us about a 5-degree bump from today. We'll see 48 in Leavenworth, 50 for Chelan high temperature, and 50 the high temperature also for you folks up in Omak. Taking a look at that surface loop now tonight, there's those showers. We talked about a 70% chance of it. Here's the area of low pressure just off the coast, and that will slide that shower activity right through Washington State. We are talking just sprinkles and very light rainfall, so not expecting anything heavy overnight tonight. Maybe some lingering morning showers as you make that commute for Tuesday morning, and we'll stay pretty much on the cloudy side as most of the activity will move to our east, and this giant area of high pressure then will build in, and that will clear us out for the next couple of days. Wednesday, we are expecting, look at that, all sunny skies around Washington State, light north winds, and that's significant too, because this time of year when we see north winds, that usually means a cool down, and that will begin a cool down for us, especially as we get into Thursday. Sunny, it will be cooler, and look at this quiet weather all over the western United States. Same goes for Friday, maybe a few more clouds in the afternoon, but temperatures will fall back to normal. And as I just showed you, normal temperatures basically in the lower to mid 40s. That's that greenish color, even a few 30s, the blues in the northern part of our viewing area. As we get into the upcoming weekend on Saturday, partly cloudy skies, a lot like last weekend with mild conditions. Most of the rainy activity and snow will be to our north and northwest, but this will slide down the backside of this big high pressure ridge, and we could just see some isolated rain, yes, mixed with snow showers as we get late Sunday afternoon. We'll know a lot more about that storm system as we make our way through this work week. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. 37 the overnight low tonight, 50 degrees with some morning rain for Tuesday and mild in the afternoon, 46 and a little bit cooler on Wednesday. And as I mentioned, that will be our trend as we head into the end of the week, but that's normal, folks. Mid 40s for us, partly cloudy Saturday and 45 Sunday, mostly cloudy, isolated showers and 44 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eirc, Granstrom, and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. We have a state champion in our midst, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's head back to Friday in the state 4A playoff game for Wenatchee. The night looked promising to start for the Panthers against number 1 Kennedy Catholic as Johnny Amezcua picked off a tip ball from Sam Heward and returned it to the Lancer 23-yard line. 3 plays later, Camden Sermon hit Riley Coons for an 11-yard touchdown pass. The extra point was blocked, but Wenatchee led it 6-0, much to the surprise of the partisan crowd for Kennedy Catholic. It didn't take long for the Lancers to get on the scoreboard, however, as they took the next possession 72 yards on 8 plays, as Sam Heward found Reed Schumpert on a 34-yard touchdown pass to put the Lancers up 7-6. Heward again would strike on KC's next possession, hitting junior Alexander on a 9-yard touchdown pass to put Kennedy Catholic up 14-6 at the halftime. The third quarter was all Kennedy Catholic as big Chevelle Smalls capped a 10-play, 72-yard drive with a 2-yard touchdown run. That put the Lancers up 21-6. After a 3-and-out by Wenatchee, Heward again would go up top for a 33-yard touchdown pass to Alexander to extend the lead to 28-6. Later in the third, Heward again found Alexander on an 18-yard touchdown pass that put the Lancers up 35-6. The Panthers would counter, however, with a pass out in the flat from Heward that was a live ball. Jax Tucker had the heads-up play to scoop it up and score to make it 35-13. An onside kick attempt gave Kennedy Catholic great field position, which they capitalized on with a 3-yard touchdown scamper by Heward. That made it 42-13. Both teams would score once more for the final score of 49-20, Kennedy Catholic. Nate Blauman finished his Panther career with 19 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. It was the seniors that came first to the mind afterwards with Coach Scott Devereaux.
A bunch of these guys started as sophomores and just got hammered. I remember Chase Lloydhammer was a 160-pound defensive end, and we played the state champion Richland Bombers week 1, and they beat the piss out of us. And those guys stuck it out, and they kept battling, kept scrapping, and they kind of led us back into contention.
Sermon finished 16 of 28 for 79 yards, an interception and a touchdown. Kennedy Catholic Sam Heward was 17 of 34 for 262 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he ran one in as well. The Lancers will face Woodinville in the quarterfinals.
Next up was Eastmont and Camas on the Papermakers' home field in the suburb of Vancouver, Washington.
Doc Harris Stadium was the site for Saturday's first-round State 4A playoff game between Eastmont and Camas. After the pomp and circumstance, Camas quarterback Blake Asciuto tossed a 48-yard touchdown pass to tight end Jackson Clemmer and put the Papermakers up 6-0. After a 3-and-out by Eastmont, Camas had the ball at the Wildcat 30-yard line when Caleb Thomas came up with a fumble. Eastmont's offense could not convert, however, and Camas scored quickly on a 5-play, 62-yard drive, capped by a 1-yard touchdown run by Jacques Bartolotto Birdsell. That gave the Papermakers a 13-0 lead. Things got a little worse from there as Austin Ruffins fumbled the ball, giving Camas a short field in which to work as Gabe Gould found the end zone to put the home team up 20-0. The wheels continued to wobble when Hunter Rule dropped back to punt, and Camas got through and blocked it at the Eastmont 14-yard line. Bartolotto Birdsell made quick work of it, scoring on the next play to make it 27-0. Corbin Keys gave Eastmont a little life with a great kickoff return out past midfield, but the Wildcats could not capitalize on that great field position. After turning it over on downs, Camas went on an 8-play, 61-yard drive capped by a 13-yard touchdown pass from Asciuto to Clemmer and put the Papermakers up 34-0 at halftime. The only highlight for Eastmont in the second half was late in the third quarter as the defense got pressure on Asciuto, chasing him out of the pocket with his throw intercepted by Oscar Calvillo. The Papermakers would score once more in the fourth quarter and go on for the 41-0 victory. Coach Michael Don was thankful for the work put in by his seniors, who hand the program off in good hands.
They've helped grow the program to where it is, and now it's up to those young guys, and those seniors have given them the blueprint for how we get to where we are now, and the young guys have to figure it out on their own, is how do they take that next step and how do they get to that next step. It's hard. Going from below average to good is tough, and now the next jump from good to great is even harder, and that's going to take a whole different kind of commitment, and we'll see. We'll see if it's something that we're really interested in doing as a program, but I hope we are, because I think our kids are proud, and they enjoy getting here, and now they want to get here and compete.
Adrian Vivanco came off the bench and led Eastmont with 93 rushing yards. Carson Everhart was 5 of 15 for 39 yards and an interception. Camas outgained Eastmont 389 to 203 yards. Papermakers will next face Puyallup in the quarterfinals. So Eastmont ends its season 9-2. Cashmere's season also came to an end Friday to LaSalle. The team in the South came up with a 35-10 win. Omak advances narrowly, defeating Colville 38-27. They'll travel to Royal Saturday at 2 o'clock. Brewster's season is over in the state 2B playoffs after a 60-7 loss at Unalaska Friday. Lake Roosevelt edged Friday Harbor Saturday and faces Kalama this Saturday in the quarterfinals. Henning advanced in the quarterfinals of the State 1B tournament by virtue of a forfeit to Cusick Saturday. Halmira Cooley Heartline advanced with a 66-0 win against Bridgeport. Quincy's new football stadium the site for the next round Saturday as Entiat faces Lyle Wishram at 1, followed by ACH and Lummi at 4 o'clock. Well, the Cascade girls soccer team is in the Final Four of the State 1A soccer tournament. Kodiak's edged Freeman Saturday 3-2 to advance to face Lakeside for the Final Four Friday at 4 o'clock. Chelan as a state champion in volleyball after a grueling championship match on Saturday. Goats lost the first 2 sets 25-27, 16-25, came back, won the next 3 to take the state title from Kings. Congratulations to the ladies from Chelan. Elmira Cooley Heartline girls took 3rd of the State 1B tournament after downing Odessa 3-0. Wenatchee swimmers were 4th, Eastmont 13th at the Girls State Swim and Dive Championships over the weekend. Panthers' Rayanne Dressel took 2nd in the 50 free and 3rd in the 100-meter breaststroke. On the Les Schwab College football scoreboard on Saturday, Anthony Gordon passed for 520 yards and 5 touchdowns. Washington State beat Stanford 49-22. Eastern Washington built a 28-14 halftime lead, hung on for dear life to edge Cal Poly 42-41. Eric Barrier combined for 340 yards through the air and on the ground. Central Washington quarterback Christian Moore threw for 234 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the Wildcats past Simon Fraser 51-14. Wenatchee Wild dropped 2 heartbreakers over the weekend north of the border. Penticton V's got the better of the Wild Saturday in overtime 2-1. Then Sunday's game at Salmon Arm also went into OT. Silverbacks winning it 3-2. Wenatchee continues on the road this week. They'll be at Salmon Arm Thursday, then West Kelowna Friday, and Merritt on Saturday.
After lots of praying and talking with my family and friends, I have made my decision. I know you and God are smiling down on me because you have always liked the color red better anyways. I'm committing to the University of Louisville.
Well, as you saw earlier on our feature, Haley Van Lith has chosen Louisville, where she would like to go play basketball in college. Van Lith said she had a chance to play around the Louisville players and coaches last summer, and that sealed the deal.
I think it was really important for me to feel comfortable with the girls I was going to play with, the community that I was going to be playing for, and especially the head coach, and Louisville just had all those pieces for me. All my schools and my finalists were really good, and I had to figure out what I truly wanted for myself, and I just think at the end of the day, Louisville was all that I wanted for myself, but the other schools that I had left were great schools, and I loved those girls and those coaching staffs, but Louisville just touched me a little bit more. It was really hard, and it took a lot of thinking and talking with family and friends, but ultimately I think Louisville is just the best fit for me basketball and person-wise, and I'm super excited to get out there.
More with Haley coming up tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. That's Sports News. I'm Eirc Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Congratulations, Haley Van Lith. Finally tonight, a magnitude 3.5 earthquake was recorded this morning about 15 miles north-northeast of Cooley City. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network confirmed the quake hit at about 8:48 a.m. at a depth of just under a mile. Several residents of the area reported briefly feeling the quake, but the Grant County Sheriff's Office said there were apparently no damage and no 911 calls were received. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Yeah, we got a great show for you tomorrow. We're going to be visiting with the Executive Director of the Port of Chelan and Douglas Counties, Jim Kuntz. In addition to that, we'll be talking to the respective presidents of the ports. J.C. Baldwin is the president of the Chelan County Port, and Jim Huffman is the president of the Douglas County Port. They have merged their operations, as you well know, and it gets going in earnest, proper, on January 1st. That conversation you don't want to miss, plus everything you're used to. We'll see you Tuesday morning right here from this very studio on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.